Hi, I'm Alicia. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a spend my day off with me, kind of a personal day, mental health day, whatever you want to call it. I like to take a day like this once a month where I can catch up on chores or things around the house or any errands I have to run, and or do things that bring me joy, fill my cup, but I might not have as much time in a busy work week to do. I get that this is something that not everybody can do. I'm very lucky that my company has unlimited PTO. I am holding on to that for dear life because it has become such an important part of my routine to take like one day a month just to disconnect from work and live. I've fallen into a habit in the past where I take just vacations with my PTO and then you have no time to like catch up or just like take a breather. That's what we're doing today. I have a little kind of ideal to-do list for the day. Half of it is like not really fun stuff, and then the other half of it is fun stuff. So number one is put away laundry. I have like 3 loads of laundry that need to be put away. I was basically busy all weekend and my husband cleaned the whole apartment and did my laundry, which I am so grateful for because we usually kind of tackle the cleaning together, but I was just running around all weekend. So he did most of the cleaning and did my laundry, but I still need to put it away because he does not know where all my stuff goes. And then I need to finish any extra laundry loads. I think we need to wash our bedding and like our towels, so I need to do that as well. Another thing I need to do, this is kind of exciting but kind of nerve-wracking. So I actually joined a choir that starts today and I'm so anxious about it, and I know I'm just anxious because it's something new, it's something scary. I haven't been in a choir in 10 years. You know, we'll do a whole story time on this later, but I have a choir that starts today at a community college nearby, and I have to look up the building, I have to look up the parking situation, because if I don't, I'm just gonna sit and stress about it all day. So I just need to have a game plan on how I'm getting to choir and just get there later tonight. Another thing I want to do is a budget check-in. I'm really trying to be a bit more, I don't want to say frugal necessarily, but I'm trying to be much more mindful of my spending. I'm trying my best to check my bank accounts on a daily basis and just kind of stay on top of my finances so that I'm just extra mindful of the spending that's happening and what I need to plan for. So I'm gonna do a budget check-in. The last 2 like chores kind of things, I need to organize the fridge, I need to organize the pantry. We had our groceries delivered yesterday and I was not in the mood to put them away in a nice organized way. So our fridge right now is really chaotic, and our pantry, this above my craft corner, this is all pantry. In my craft corner video, I had made a comment that we don't have a lot of storage. Someone had left a comment saying like, you know, you can probably clean out one of these cabinets for extra craft storage. Unfortunately, this is the only pantry storage we have for any sort of canned good, dry good, baking stuff. We have these 4 cabinets. We do not have a lot of storage in this place. So that is our pantry. This side is mostly like extra canned goods, baking things, extra coffee beans, extra tea. So this side never really gets a lot of turnover. This side is used much more. This has like applesauce, snacks, crackers, bread, that kind of stuff lives on this side. That's Pepper's ear in the corner, if you can see that. Anyway, so we just put stuff in the general areas that they go when we got our groceries this week, but they need to be organized, so I need to do that. And then we have some fun things. So some of this is for the vlog. I want to do a crafting update. I had 2 work in progress crafts that I finished this past week that I'm really excited about, and I'm really happy to get them done. And I have one more. If you've been watching my vlogs, you're probably sick and tired of seeing this thing. I really desperately need to finish this. I've since learned that needlepoint and cross stitch and half stitch is not my craft, and that's totally fine. I just don't enjoy it, so I need to finish this because I'm ready to be done with it. So I want to do a crafting update, share the projects that I finished, and then share what I'm working on next. I have some wine bottles back here that I want to cut and make into some candles. And then I also have these fun little tea tins that my dad gave me, and I told him to save any like aluminum tea tins that he has. They're really small. I think they would make a really cute like mini candle, like kind of like a stocking stuffer candle. So I've got these 2 tins. One of them was an oolong tea and the other one was green tea. I have some tea scented fragrance oil as well. So I think it would be kind of cute to put like a tea scent in the tea tin. So I'm gonna try and do that. we'll see if I have time to do that. Making candles is a bit time consuming. One thing for the vlog I wanted to do was a thrifted book haul. I got some cookbooks at the thrift store yesterday. And then the last fun thing I really want to do is play The Sims. I have been on such a Sims kick. It's just like everybody else. I'll get on a Sims kick for like, I don't know, a week, anywhere from a week to a month, and then I won't touch the game for 2 years. And then I'll get on a kick for like a month, and then I won't touch it for 2 years. So I started playing The Sims 4 on my PC. I ended up buying a used copy of The Sims 3 for PlayStation 3 because I don't have a PS5, I don't have a PS4, I have an old PS3. It was like $10 on Amazon for a used copy of The Sims 3. I don't think it was ever actually used. There's no scratches on it or anything. So I've been playing The Sims 3 on my PlayStation in the living room, and it's been so much fun. I played basically all day yesterday. So I really want to play The Sims right now. I really do. I'm like so torn because I want to play The Sims right now, but I'm worried if I play The Sims first, I'm not gonna get anything else done. I'll play The Sims for like an hour or so, and then I'll make lunch and then get into like cleaning, organizing mode once I wake up a bit. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just looking for an excuse to play The Sims first. Okay, I am coming to you live from my living room floor to do a cookbook update, I guess. So I went thrifting yesterday with my parents and I got some new cookbooks, and I wanted to share the new cookbook. This is not a cookbook, this is a cat. I wanted to share the new cookbooks I got and then just share some of my current cookbooks because it's a vibe. So I am leaning into getting cookbooks as of recently and like trying my best to save physical copies of recipes because I used to get all of my recipes from Pinterest, and as of the last year, Pinterest is like 99% AI slop at this point, and it's really frustrating because to me Pinterest was always kind of a meh way to get recipes anyways, just because it was kind of hard to filter through the crap. And now it's even harder because most of Pinterest is AI. So Pinterest is all AI at this point. And if you look at, you know, what recipes do well on like a Google search, that's all SEO. I work in SEO. I know that people are just keyword stuffing the heck out of those articles to get them to rank. That's why a recipe page is just full of just content that nobody wants to read, and you have to click jump to the recipe. All of that stuff above is just SEO keyword stuffing. So you also can't really rely on Google because just because a recipe showing up doesn't mean it's good. It just means that they've optimized their website to rank for banana bread recipe. So I'm leaning more into cookbooks because I really like cooking. I've been getting into cooking for a while. I have a cooking Instagram page if you want to follow it. And I have had a handful of cookbooks for a while now. I'm just trying to kind of build my collection. So I went thrifting yesterday and I got a couple cookbooks. So the first one I got is a beast. It's The Joy of Cooking. I've never had a copy of this. This thing is huge, and it's just like so much information. So I have no idea if and when I'm ever going to read this whole thing, but I just thought it was a nice staple to have and a nice like reference book more than anything. It's really dirty. It's really beat up, but it was like $2, and this is normally like $30. So I got The Joy of Cooking. Another book I got is Santa Fe Kitchens. This is literally just appetizers and beverages. There's no meals in here. There's no desserts in here. But my husband and I love Southwestern food, and we love Santa Fe. So this one was a pretty easy choice. Next is an Ina Garten book. It's Ina Garten's Make It Ahead. I have another Ina Garten book in here when I go through like my tour of my other books. I read her autobiography and I kind of hated it, but I love her recipes and I love her cooking. So I'm trying to build up my Ina Garten collection. So this is book number 2 for me. And then the last one, I was trying to find something that was like just a generic cookbook of like easy recipes. Like in my head, I was thinking like a Rachel Ray's like 30-minute meals or like weeknight dinner kind of thing. Because all the books there were like low carb chicken recipes or like mega high protein grilling recipes. I'm like, well, I don't have a grill. And I wasn't looking for anything super niche. Like I was just looking for a collection of different recipes to try. So I got this one. I've never heard of this chef before from Food Network, but my dad had. So Jamie Oliver, Jamie Dinners, I guess he was the author of The Naked Chef. Apparently he's on Food Network. My dad was like, yeah, you should definitely buy that. So I bought it. And this is just like random, you know, family. It's like the essential family cookbook. So there's like some soups in here. There's salads in here. There's like toasts and breads and sandwiches. So I thought it would be a good one. Okay, we're just gonna rapid fire go through the rest of my cookbooks. So this is my current stash of cookbooks. First one I have had for a while is called A Romance with Food, Latin Fusion Cooking. This is from a restaurant in Sedona called Mariposa, and it is a very expensive restaurant. It is very bougie, it is very fancy. My husband and I went there when we got married in Sedona as like a nice, hey, we just got married dinner. My parents ended up calling and picking up the entire tab, which was, did you just see Pepper? The food was absolutely amazing. So we got the cookbook. We got one for us and then one for my parents, which we were already going to do before they picked up the tab, actually. There is a cheesecake recipe in here that I'm trying to make. I need to figure out where to get prickly pear. It is a prickly pear cheesecake. I wish I was being dramatic when I said this is the best dessert I've ever had. It's my husband's favorite. It was my favorite. It was absolutely insane. So I bought this cookbook mostly for this recipe. That's cookbook number 1. This was actually a gift from my friend. So my husband and I just got back from our honeymoon in London. We went in May. And so I was raving about the food. And so she got me a British Classics. This was also a thrifted book. 99. This book is from 1999. Great British Classics. This one is actually a cocktail book. My husband got this for me for Christmas a couple years ago. It's called Be a Bartender, but it's really fun because the book is filled with a bunch of like flow charts. So you ask yourself like what the vibe is, what kind of drink you want, and you follow the flow chart and it takes you to a recipe and then you can make that cocktail. Next, I have Health Nut. I really don't remember why I bought this. I think I've used it twice. I forget her name. Claudia starts with an S. Phineas's fiance actually recommended a recipe from this book, so I bought it for that reason. This is just a magazine, not necessarily a cookbook, but it's Better Homes and Gardens soups from last year. This is a folder of old HelloFresh recipes. So I used to pay for HelloFresh for on and off for a couple years. When it's good, it's good. And when it's bad, it's bad. So we just like saved the actual recipe cards for some of our favorites. And so this binder is just filled with some HelloFresh recipes. This one is Arizona's Best Recipes. I believe this was published by Arizona Highways. So they just picked a bunch of like Arizona Phoenix staples and have some of their iconic recipes in here. This was also a gift from a friend of mine. When we went to London for our honeymoon, we did an overnight in Paris. And so my friend got me French Bakes Made Simple. So it's a bunch of French pastries, French desserts, tarts, that kind of thing. Apparently the two friends that got me the British cookbook and the French baking cookbook didn't communicate about it. They just both happened to buy cookbooks, which I think is really funny. Lastly, I have the Best of the Best from New Mexico cookbook. I've not really found much groundbreaking stuff in here. A lot of it's pretty basic stuff, but there's a lot of recipes in here. And like I said, we like Southwestern food a lot, so that's a good one. Okay, next I have a very sentimental cookbook. This is a recipe book with my parents' recipes in it. So I've just got some of my parents' recipes and they like typed them up and put little memories in them, which is really sweet. So we've got like appetizers. Like this one's really funny because it's called Mom's Favorite Chili because my dad makes a really good white chili that my mom like doesn't like. So it's just kind of funny, like family stuff like that. That is my family cookbook. And then I need to put this mic down for me to do this next part. This next one is my recipe binder. It is stuff. So I have just slowly over time just kind of filled this with recipes that I found online and printed out. So I've got breakfast, lunch, dinner. I have dinner sorted out to be like, I don't know, to me in my head it's like a Sunday dinner, like a fancy, like it takes time. It might be like a slow cooked dinner. I've got some appetizers, side dishes. Main dishes is like my biggest one. This is like, to me, main dishes, I have like weeknight dinners, like stuff that's like pretty easy to do, but like, you know, filling enough for like a weeknight dinner, but like not so complicated I don't know what I'm doing. And then desserts in there, and then the back is soups and salads. So this one's got a lot too. So this thing I have been building for, I don't know, over a year now. I've made probably a third of the recipes, especially like in the main meals section and like the appetizers, soup, salads, that kind of thing. I haven't made a ton of breakfast, desserts, or like the fancy dinners from this. So that's just my little recipe binder. Anyways, update. I did play The Sims for a little bit. I took a little B-roll footage, but it was just me playing The Sims, so I didn't feel like I needed to record too much of that. Now I think I'm going to, it's only like 10:30, so I didn't play for too long. I think I need to get some stuff done because I was having a hard time like fully enjoying it until I get my stuff done. So I'm going to at least try to organize the fridge. I feel like that'll probably be the fastest. And then I'll go through the freezer and the pantry and hopefully have that done by like 11. One thing I had to do while cleaning out this freezer was to bake some of these frozen cookies that my dad makes. So my dad actually makes and sells sourdough pizza dough, and then sourdough cookie dough. So he sells these frozen. So anytime I go see them, I always bring some home. So I just threw some in the oven while I was cleaning. So we've got chocolate chip, peanut butter, and white chocolate macadamia. I sprinkle some salt on. I know you're technically supposed to do this after they bake, but I really can't be bothered, so I just do it before. And then things just started falling out of the freezer as I was trying to organize, so it definitely needed it. Okay, a bit of a freezer tour here. So I've got some puff pastries under some ice trays that I have. We've got this ice maker, but the ice tastes nasty, and I don't know, I just make my own ice because I don't want to deal with maintenance. And then in this middle section here, in this Amazon box, we've just got all of our frozen meat. I know an Amazon box seems a little crazy, but I didn't want to buy anything if I could just use something I already have. So I just keep everything in this box. So there's like chicken, bacon, sausage, all that kind of stuff. And then to the right, I've got some frozen veggies in these little bags. I've got my dad's cookies in the dough, along with some frozen Cool Whip. And then back here is all just like kind of ready to eat frozen stuff. So there's like chicken patties, taquitos, Eggo waffles, garlic bread, that kind of stuff. And then on the door, this little bottom shelf has just all of our frozen fruit. These are not new frozen berries, so they're not on recall. I've got some frozen blueberries I froze myself. And then these are little like almost juice concentrate cubes that I made that I blend up and mix into some iced tea just to give them some flavor. I've got some cinnamon bread and then some desserts in that corner. And next we tackle the fridge. So this is the before. Okay, this is the after the fridge. It's definitely not perfect, but it's the same system that's always worked in my head. So this drawer is vegetables, most of the produce, so any fruits, onions, peppers, anything like that. This drawer is like dairy deli. So I've got some yogurts in here, cream cheese, butter, cheese, deli meat, sausage, that kind of stuff. This is where it gets a little chaotic. This is sparkling water. There's some plain sparkling waters in there, and I think there's some flavored ones as well. Here we've got energy drinks behind this tea because this is just kind of in the way all the time. We've got some Red Bulls and some Blooms, a ton of orange juice. We love orange juice. I've got some cottage cheese, and we've got 3 different sizes of tortillas because we are constantly eating tortillas. I've got some cherry tomatoes, some kiwis. I've got some extra guacamole back there. It's just a jar of water. I've got like some pickle jars, pickled onions, pickled jalapenos, that kind of stuff. This second shelf is, we'll go left to right. I just got a bunch of oranges. Like I said, we really love orange juice, so we keep a lot of oranges on hand just to make some fresh orange juice. This is just random stuff. This is like stuff that kind of needs to be used. So I've got like some dates. I've got some barbecue sauce, some Caesar dressing, which we're not really having lettuce right now, so can't really use that. I've got some matcha here that needs to be in the fridge. I've got some apple juice and some grenadine. This little plastic thing is like mostly snack stuff. So we've got a lot of string cheese in there because it was buy one, get one free. We've got little applesauce things. What else? Some of these like little snack pack things. Some of this pre-mashed avocado. And then I just keep a bunch of citrus up here because I go through lemons and limes really quickly. And then I've got some Muscle Milk Zero. I have vanilla cream chocolate, and then I've also got some cookies and cream in the closet. That's actually my favorite. I'm just trying to get through these first. Then top shelf, I've got 2 cartons of eggs. This one looks like it had an explosion. I don't know what that was, but it's not eggs. We make a ton of hard-boiled eggs. I have egg salad sandwich or like egg toast almost every day. These 2 little bins are mostly like jarred things. Like we've got prickly pear jelly, we've got some salsa, we've got more jelly, bouillon, butter, mayonnaise, sour cream, that kind of stuff. Got a Brita filter here. We've got some sparkling tea. It's just literally sparkling tea. And then a champagne. And then door, I mean, this is pretty standard. We've got our butter dish here, some sauces, that kind of stuff, dairy, an extra bottle of wine, coffee creamer, that kind of stuff. So she's not perfect, but this is like the normal state of our fridge. And then the pantry, I'm really not looking forward to this. It's just like stuffed to the brim. And I know there's stuff back there that's expired and I've been really putting it off. I think this one is honestly fine. Like I said earlier, like most of this stuff doesn't get used. This shouldn't actually be over here. There's just no room on this side. But this is a lot of like extra canned goods, you know, cooking oils, baking stuff, cornstarch, that kind of stuff. So this doesn't get a lot of turnover. This is the problem. It's 12:30. If I could get this done by 1, I will be ecstatic. Pantry is organized. It might not look any different, but I promise it is. We'll start here. These are not normally here, but we are having buns and brats this week. So normally these wouldn't be here. This is like random little snacks that just got lost somewhere along the way. So we've got like a little goldfish thing, little corn chips, little, you know, dried fruit, like any of these like little single serving things that we just kind of gather is in this bin. We've got some cookies from our trip to London. We've got some popcorn. Oh, this is more snacks. These are like seaweed. These are like popcorn chip things. Kind of like healthier snacks, I guess. This is, I don't know how to explain this little cubby because it only makes sense. It makes sense in my brain, but I don't know the word for it. It's like granola-y toppings. So like honey, syrup, there's cream of wheat and oatmeal back there. There's a ton of nuts, granolas, more nuts. There's like crispy onions. Obviously that's not like a granola thing, but like to me it's like nuts, seeds, toppings, that kind of stuff is all in here. This second shelf didn't really get touched. It's really just a bunch of canned stuff. And then up at the top on that right side is like kind of pre-packaged food things. So we've got some beans in there. There's like tuna, potatoes, matzo soup, that kind of stuff. And then in the middle we've got pastas, gnocchis, polenta, Fanta, Spotzel, that kind of stuff. And then on the end, we've got my favorite kind of syrup and then baking kits. Pantry is done. Cookies are done. Fridge and freezer are cleaned, and it's 1 o'clock. I mean, I'm feeling very good about my timing for the day. So like I said, it's about 1 o'clock. I've done most of my cleaning that I wanted to get done today. I really want to put away my laundry, and I also want to organize our laundry room. We kind of just have like a closet with a washer and dryer and some shelves, but the shelves are getting a little crazy and we're like piling more on top of our dryer. Need to kind of clean up that whole space. So I'm just trying to think of my timing for the day. I have to leave for choir by about 6:30, I think. I think I'm gonna try and get there early. I've got basically 5.5 hours until I need to leave. This has turned into more of a cleaning vlog than I expected, but I think that's okay. This is typically how my days like this go. Sometimes I just sit and read the entire day, and sometimes I just catch up on like what I call like dark clouds, like stuff that's kind of just like looming over your head. It's not necessarily urgent, but it's causing a lot of discomfort or just like friction in your life. So I've just been tackling those today. I cleaned all of Pepper's water bowls because we get a lot of hard water here. I try and deep clean those. I rinse them out and like freshen up her water every day, every other day, but I give them a deep clean once a week where I just like soak them in vinegar and it just gets all like the crusties out. So I did that, like lint rolled the couch. I'm running the vacuum right now. We have a little Roomba that's kind of a piece of crap, if I'm going to be honest. I've got beef with iRobot. This is our third replacement Roomba in the past 12 months because they keep breaking. I'm going to clean the bedroom now. The bed needs to be made first and foremost so that I can put my laundry on my bed so that I can fold it, put everything away. But I also would like to furniture polish this dresser. I try and do that on a weekly basis. I'm gonna make the bed, tidy up the bedroom, put some laundry away, and then I will check back in. This chair needs to go back into our closet. That laundry needs to be folded. Bed needs to be made, and then that's pretty much it. I'm gonna do some like pre-wash stuff before I do some laundry so it can sit in my hair and soak up all the goodness before I take a shower. I do kind of two main things before I shower. I don't do this step every day. It's the Aprez Bond Repair Treatment Spray. I do this probably once or twice a week. And then I also have the OGX. I took the labels off of these just because they're very oily. Coconut oil spray and then coconut oil like oil. Kind of want it to be pretty saturated, but this stuff is expensive, so I go maybe a little conservative on the application. Spray the coconut oil spray. And then because I know I'm using a clarifying shampoo later today, I'm gonna add some of the oil just to my ends. So my hair has a lot of damage right now, so we're just trying to make her happy. I'm gonna massage that in for a bit and then throw it up in a bun. I just like take a claw clip and just kind of messily pull it up. I really am trying not to like pull on anything, and we're good to go. Cleaning is done. I have one last load in the dryer. So it's 4 p.m. I have about an hour before I need to start cooking dinner. I'm gonna take a shower. And yeah, this turned into much more of a cleaning vlog than I expected, more of like a reset vlog, but it's what I needed. It's what the apartment needed, and it's what my mind needed, because really I'm so anxious about choir tonight. I kind of needed something to distract me, and playing The Sims was not distracting enough. I kind of had to get into some projects, so it feels so good. The fridge is organized, the freezer, everything in the kitchen's organized, the laundry room is organized, the laundry is done. Feels so good. So I'm gonna take a shower and we'll get on with the day. I just wanted to sort of close out this vlog. It's about 4:30. I don't really know if I'm gonna have time to do anything else. I'm definitely not gonna have time to do any sort of candle making today, which is fine because I got so much more other productive stuff done that makes me feel really relaxed and at ease. It feels very active to be doing all this cleaning, but it was actually a very mentally restful day today, so I'm totally happy with how today went. And I wanted to do, as promised, a craft update. First thing that I finished, I don't have it with me right now, but I'll add some footage here. I made these fingerless gloves that were from a hooks and needles kit. I made them in purple. I've already learned a few things about knitting. I've been crocheting for a long time, so I've already kind of got a decent understanding of tension, and I tend to, while crocheting, have my tension pretty tight just because that's how I like my crochet projects. I've very quickly learned in knitting that my tension is too tight and I need to loosen things up, so these are actually very small fingerless gloves. Thankfully, I have a friend who has really small hands, so she is going to get these for Christmas. So I would like to try again with this pattern, especially since I'm familiar with it, but I'm still working on like a knit and purl stitch. So I'm going to try again with white. So that's one of my completed projects, and then also one of my new upcoming projects. So more to come on that. And then a second project that I finished is actually right here. This is my temperature blanket 2024. So I started this blanket obviously in January 2024. If you're not familiar with temperature blankets, basically each row correlates to the temperature of that day. So I was doing high temperatures in Phoenix in 2024, and it was supposed to be January through December, and 2024 was a big year and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I should have listened to everybody saying like, whatever you do, don't do a temperature blanket if you're not willing to commit. I was trying to make it queen size so it could fit on our queen size bed as like a full blanket for our bed. It was massive. A single row would take me like 30 minutes to crochet every single day, and I kept up with it until about May. For context, in 2024 we had like 6 weddings to go to from like spring into fall. That fall we got engaged, and then we started wedding planning. It got really busy. I had crocheted through the end of May. So this half done temperature blanket had been sitting in my closet for about a year, and it was this big dark cloud just looming over me, and I was like, ugh, I feel like I can't start any other projects until I finish this blanket, and then I would start other projects and feel guilty. Finally, last week I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna have a half a temperature blanket, and because I wanted to use it, but I couldn't use it with all the ends out, and with a cat, that's not something you can do. We would have a very expensive trip to the vet, and I was not wanting to do that. So again, it was just sitting in my closet. So I spent an entire weekend weaving in all my ends, and I was left with this blanket. I think it's a really nice reminder of like, it's okay to start something and stop it when you're just not feeling it anymore. And I also think it is a good reminder that things don't need to be perfect to be completed. Okay, I'm hoping you can see in this lighting. So this is my temperature blanket. This is about 5 months. So it started here in January into spring, and then it goes through May. So again, it's massive. So this was supposed to be the distance of a queen size blanket. I don't know if this is gonna show well on camera. You can kind of see how it's hanging. The tension just got really tight in the middle, and then I loosened it again at the end. Like, I fold it perfectly in half. You can see how wonky the ends are. It's just not straight at all. I thought about blocking this to see if that would help, but honestly, I can't be bothered. I think the blanket is the blanket. It's a really perfect size throw now. If you've been watching any of my videos over the past couple months, you are probably sick and tired of seeing this half stitch project. So this is from another kit, the Craft Club, I believe. My friend gifted it to me for Christmas. She actually has the same one, so we were gonna do it together. I have been here for like weeks. I had so much fun with this project at first, and then I very quickly learned that needlepoint is not the craft for me, and that's totally okay. Everyone has crafts that are meant for them. I really like knitting and crocheting. I like painting. I like making candles. I do not like needlepoint. I mean, like I said, I don't like changing color, and the changing of these colors for this pattern pattern, and it's not even that complex of a pattern, was so annoying to me. I had fun at first, and then it got old really fast. So I'm really gonna try and finish this up. This is my only work in progress craft right now. And then other crafts I want to make, because I'm thinking about what crafts I want to do for Christmas. If you know me personally, please stop watching. If you are my parents, if you are my husband, if you are my friends, please stop watching the rest of this video. So like I said, I want to do another set of those fingerless gloves for one of my friends that lives in Oregon. For one of my friends, I want to make a throw pillow because she just moved into a new house. So I think I'm going to knit that. One of my friends, very into fashion and very into like cute hairstyles. And so I was thinking a crocheted like bandana, like headband could be really cute. I also want to make these felt wine koozies, I guess, or like my grandma actually saw this like on Pinterest. They're like little booties, I guess, for the bottom of your wine glass. Because again, we live in Phoenix. My grandma's always drinking wine out of a wine glass, but the condensation will sweat and drip down the wine glass. So she'll always have a napkin like bunched at the bottom of her wine glass. So I made her these last year for Christmas, and she is obsessed with them. She uses them literally all the time. So I'm going to make her some more just so she has a nice variety. Speaking of blankets and being too large of a project to commit to, I want to make another blanket. I bought some alpaca wool blend yarn when I was in Tucson a couple weeks ago, and I would like to make some sort of, I definitely want to crochet it. There is a pattern I'm looking at right now. I keep watching this video to see if it's what I want to do or not. This woman calls it the Colosseum stitch. I don't know if that's actually the name of the stitch, but a very holey blanket, which because we're in Phoenix, we need it to be a little breathable. But I want it to be a throw blanket for our bedroom upstairs. So the colors I'm working with are a muted olive green and then like a taupe gray kind of, if possible. I'm getting really ambitious for the fall and winter here because I know I'm going to do more crafts for like gifts. I'm going to make a ton of like wine bottle candles and beer candles. I would also really like to learn to probably crochet some sort of cardigan situation. Oh, and I saw these coasters that are like little wreath coasters. So I want to make those coasters as well. And I think that's pretty much it as far as like projects on my mind. So we'll see where all that goes. I'm going to go make some dinner and get on with my day. If you've made it this far, thank you for hanging out with me. It was a really fun day. Subscribe if you like the vibe. I'll chat with you guys next time. Bye.